This week on the only high school football show dedicated to the tri-state area of Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana, what an ending we had for a West Side powerhouse in Michigan. New Pal keeps rolling in the Hoosier Athletic Conference. It's playoffs in Ohio. Painesville Riverside delivering some to their opponent from Youngstown. That and more on State Champs Extra Point. Come on in, everybody. Gather around Midwest football at its finest here on the State Champs Network. Extra Point, powered by Lawrence Technological University. They've got a virtual open house coming up November 14th. Find all about this world-class university and athletic programs. Simply log on to upcoming.ltu.edu. I'm Lauren Plant, and the regular season's winding down in Michigan and Indiana. Playoff action in Ohio. Plays of the week, too. Let us begin.
I'm Mike Erlitis. We head to action in the KLAA with a battle in Livonia. As Livonia Churchill Chargers hosts the team looking to avenge their loss from a year ago, the Spartans of Livonia Stevenson. The hosting Chargers strike first on their initial drive. Senior wideout Jordan Garcia takes the end around in for the touchdown. Churchill up 7-0. Stevenson not wasting any time on their rebuttal. On the first play of their possession, Caden Woodall breaks away from the pack, going 60 yards for the score. We are all tied up at 7 apiece. Still in the first, Chargers threatening once again. QB Gavin Brooks floats one to the end zone. Dennis White comes up with the catch, but flags are flown. After further review, the touchdown stands as Churchill takes a 14-7 lead as we head to the half. We take it to the fourth. Stevenson with the ball, now down 17-7 after a Charger field goal. Check out Caden Woodall again finding pay dirt. The Churchill lead just 3 at 17-14. On the following drive, the Chargers would stay in the driver's seat as Boston Clegg Jr. takes this one 62 yards, putting Churchill up to a more comfortable lead at 24-14. Spartans not going down without a fight. Woodall taking the snap and lofting it up. The ball is tipped by a Charger defender but ends up in the hands of Stevenson's Landon Masick. Although cutting the lead down to 4 with that TD, it would not be enough, as Churchill holds on against Stevenson by a final score of 24-20 as they improve their season record to 3-1.
I'm Ryan Slocum. We go to an OK Conference Green Division matchup between Zeeland West and Muskegon. First quarter action, it would be Carson Golker on the QB keeper for the 3-yard touchdown. The Ducks quacking out to a 6-0 lead. More from Zeeland West later in the first. Golker on the play action. He spots Tarek DeYoung, who hangs on to it for the 5-yard score. They would get the 2 and let it 14-0 as they go into halftime. We jump ahead to the fourth. Muskegon going for it on 4th and 1. Amari Crowley goes in for the 7-yard touch. They would go for 2. They get it. Big Reds now down 14-8. Then with under 2 minutes left in the game, the Ducks trying to pin Muskegon back. Miles Walton returns the punt for the Big Reds, slips a couple of tackles, and there he goes down the sideline and to the crib. 94 yards for the touchdown. Muskegon takes the lead for the first time at 15-14. Zeeland West with one last chance. Golker throwing to the end zone for DeYoung. The ball hits the turf before DeYoung can get to it, and Muskegon hangs on to win it 15-14 the final. The Big Reds improve to 4-1 on the season.
How about some 8-man football out of the North Star League as Augrey Sims were in Atlanta to take on the Huskies? Late in the first quarter, Augrey Sims goes on an 18-0 run to start the ball game. Mason Van Sickle throws a little screen pass to Keegan Bender, and he'll do the rest. That would go as a 9-yard touchdown pass for Van Sickle. Wolverines up after 1. Second quarter now, here come the Huskies. Out of the I formation, and it's a jet sweep. Aaron Kazor takes it in for a Huskies touchdown. 2-point try was successful. Huskies only down by 10. Moments after that, here come the Huskies again. Trace Jurgens was able to turn a bad play into a great play. This would go as a touchdown run for the junior. He cuts back in the middle of the field, and see ya. Huskies now trailing by 4. But the Wolverines come back marching. On 4th and goal, gutsy call, but Van Sickle keeps it himself, and he'll make his way in for 6 more. My, oh my. But the Huskies would come back from being down double figures and rally past the Wolverines, winning by a score of 44-42.
Did you record an unbelievable touchdown, a game-winning goal, or just a proud parent moment? Then we want your clip. Upload your video to the brand new State Champs Network app so we can feature it on one of our shows and give your player, team, and school the recognition they deserve. All it takes is just a few easy clicks, and every clip that is submitted will automatically be eligible for prizes. Download the State Champs Network app today for iPhone and Android devices.
I'm Ryan Slocum. It's a battle for the second spot in the Hoosier Heritage Conference as New Pal is home taking on the Delta Eagles. The Dragons, riding a 4-game win streak, they lit up the board in the first with just over 4 minutes left in the first. Freshman running back Grayson Thomas punches his ticket for 6. The shorty puts New Pal up 7-0. A minute later, New Pal with the ball deep in their own zone. The Dragon signal caller Lincoln Roth in some trouble. Braxton Edwards forces the ball out. Riley Wooden falls on the cookie. The Eagles with the defensive score, and this game is tied up at 7-all. New Pal answers right back on the ensuing kickoff. That's junior Damon Hockett on the 75-yard kick return. The Dragons taking back the momentum. They go up 14-7. Halfway through the second, New Pal just outside the red zone on the 25. The Dragons QB wanting some redemption after that earlier turnover, and Lincoln Roth keeps the rock himself, makes some nice moves. He reaches pay dirt on the 25-yard touch. New Pal pulling away up 21-7. The Eagles claw their way back in it before the half, though. Senior QB Braden Hunt on the play-action snap. The wideout Logan Manor makes the jumping catch, and check out the stretch. He gets the ball across the plane on the 13-yard score. That would cut the lead to 21-14 New Pal at the break. However, this night belonged to the Dragons and the freshman running back Grayson Thomas. His second TD of the night coming right here. Thomas broke triple digits, rushing with 108 yards. New Pal holds off Delta in a tight one. 28-21, your final score.
Two of the top teams in the Northeast 8 Conference squaring off at the Courtyard as Norwell, ranked 7th in the state's 3A poll. The Knights hosting Columbia City. First quarter, already 14-zip Eagles after 2 TJ Bedwell touchdowns. That's Garrett Geiger ruled out at the 1-yard line. Columbia City would punch it in, though. It's Greg Bolt with the keeper, and the score, Columbia City led 21-0. But Norwell gets it going in the second quarter. Quarterback Eli Riley finds Bo Morgan here. Morgan would be dropped around the 20. Riley actually leading the Knights in rushing with 178 yards and a couple of scores. But this time it's Max Ringer's turn. He had a big night as well. 31 carries, 166 yards, and got one of his 2 TDs for Ringer as Norwell comes back to win over Columbia City 45-34.
Castle saw their 5-game win streak snapped a week ago. The Knights look to get back in the win column as they take on Memorial. We pick it up late in the first half. Still no score. The Tigers take to the air. Sophomore Caleb Elsperman launches and finds Xavier Tyler, who holds it in at the 10-yard line. From there, Memorial turns to Josh Russell, who slices in for the first score of the game, 7-0 Tigers at the half. Castle comes out of the locker room determined to get back in it. Sophomore Cameron Tilley calls his own number and rambles 20 yards down to the Memorial 8. From there, he gives the rock to Peyton Gerzini, who batters his way in for the touchdown, knotting this game up at 7 apiece. We move to the fourth, same score facing 3rd and short. Elsperman fires to the sideline and Nick Harper makes the snag, staying in bounds and keeping the drive alive. Now Memorial goes with some trickery. The double reverse fools everyone, including the cameraman, and Dominic Norman scampers 25 yards to give the Tigers the lead. This one goes down to the wire. Memorial rallies for a 19-14.
Down to go. Aaron Green, quarterback for Warsaw, isn't letting anything get in the way of his senior season.
I've loved taking the leadership role and leading everybody around me. That's something that I feel really strong in and something that I love to do. So the fact that I'm given a chance and an opportunity to do that this year, it's really made me want to go out and get it that much more.
He cares an awful lot about the team and the program and his teammates and his school and his community. That's rare in young people.
From leading his guys on the field to leading his family to several awards for water skiing, Green has got some tricks.
It's a very different type of experience than most people would expect. A lot of it's core, a lot of it's stability, and the second you hit that jump, your body just wants to flail everywhere, so you have to stay super tight as you go over. It's a lot harder than it looks.
In a family of water ski performers, it has been tough for Green to stay sidelined this past summer, but staying safe with one last shot at a high school season came first.
I don't want to lose what I have here with my teammates, what I've worked so hard to gain, whether I decide to play baseball or football. It's just something that it's going to be there, and that this is something right here that I have that I'm not going to get back again.
Green might not be shredding the waters this season, but to him it's a small price to pay considering what could have been in the spring of his sophomore year.
It was a baseball incident.
About the first or second inning, and there was a high pop fly. It was coming quick between me and the left fielder.
And they both went for it.
And Gage's knee came right into my stomach.
At first, the pain was no big deal, but as it got worse, Green taking the advice of the trainer on site, heading to the hospital.
I'd gotten there, and they knew that something was wrong, didn't know what it was, so they got me in for a scan, and they said, okay, we'll be back in about 30 to 45 minutes with the results. And they came back in 5 minutes later and said that I had blood in my stomach that I needed lifted to Fort Wayne.
Green had ruptured his spleen, but thanks to the doctors, prayers, and a Tiger pack of supporters, Green pulled through.
My first question was, am I going to be able to play sports still? And at first he gave me a 6-month recovery time. They didn't know if I was going to be able to play contact again, but then as I was kind of going through the workings, going through recovery, they told me that things were going really well and that it would actually be 3 months. So I got released to play 2 weeks before our very first game.
And when Green got back, it was like he had never left.
Being back with them and welcomed with open arms just showed me how much they cared and how much they wanted me back.
A special bond, a special team for a special final season of high school football. Green is taking every moment in. For State Champs Sports, I'm Glenn Marini.
Lauren Plant's here to tell you for the best recruiting news in the tri-state area. Check out State Champs Scout Show, premiering Wednesdays across the network via social media, our website, and the State Champs Sports app. Alan True, Scott Bernstein, contributions from Matt Mowry and myself with the latest in football recruiting news and a variety of sports. The State Champs Scout Show, Wednesdays on the State Champs Sports Network. Time now to take a look at the football program at Lawrence Technological University.
My name is Ed Carducci, and I coach the offensive line. I went to Salem High School. I played 4 years there, and then I went off to play at Grand Rapids Community College for a season. I moved home. I coached at Garden City High School for 4 seasons, and then I went to college at Concordia University and played and started for 4 years there. The thing I'm looking forward to the most this season is just seeing all the work that our guys have put in from last season, this off season, this quarantine, and being able to see it put on film for everybody when we get in game action to see all of their hard work pay off.
LTU football is ready for kickoff. A huge push to grow the roster is on now. Scholarship opportunities are available. If you are interested in playing football at Lawrence Technological University, recruit yourself by going to the football page at ltuathletics.com.
I'm Chuck Pellerito, and let's check out some highlights from Cincinnati. The Princeton Vikings having their best season in years at home, taking on the perennial powerhouse in the Elder Panthers. Vikings get things going here. Thomas Boyd gets the call, takes it right up the middle for the 15-yard score. Princeton breaking the ice early, up 7-0. But the Panthers answer right back with the junior connection. Ben Hambleton hits Drew Ramsey on the screen, cuts it against the grain, scores from 23 yards out, and we were tied up at 7. Boyd gonna do it again as time runs out in the first, this time from 13 yards out, lowers his shoulder at the end, Vikings up 7 going into the second. But Elder had the reply. Ramsey calling his own number, punching in with a dive for the 1-yard score, tying us back up at 14. And just before the half, they would knock on the door again. Great misdirection by the Panthers, and it's going to be Marco Sabato diving for pay dirt from 4 yards out. At the break, Elder up 21-14. Panthers would add a field goal in the third before Princeton strikes back. Makai Lynn airs it out to Lamont Jackson, drops it right between a pair of Panther defenders for the 33-yard score. But it wouldn't be enough as Elder holds on to win this one 26-21 the final. They move on to play a familiar foe in St. Xavier next week.
I'm Lauren Plant, heading north to finish things off with the Division II playoff matchup in Paynesville. The Youngstown Boardman Spartans, fresh off their first playoff win in over a century, you heard me, taking on the 6th-seeded Paynesville Riverside Beavers. First quarter, Riverside already got a safety on Boardman's opening drive. Turning to the offense, Matthew Spafford gets the pitch out wide, check the balance, fights his way in for the 15-yard score. Beavers go up 9-0. But the Spartans came right back. Jason Treveri drops a dime right in the lap of his receiver, Anthony Hightower. He'll trot the last 10, 37-yard touchdown. Halfway through the second, Boardman struck again. Toss left to Terrence Thomas. Tripped at the 5, but only by sheer intestinal fortitude, the Spartans snag a 13-9 lead. Just before the half, Beavers answered 15-13 going into the break. Dominic Tromba scored the late TD on offense. Now he'll do it on defense. In perfect position to pick off the Treveri pass. Takes it back the other way. Beavers lead increased to 8. But the combo of Treveri and Thompson proved to be daunting. 60 yards equals their second touchdown connection on the night. 2-point conversion good. We were tied up at 21 after 3. One big play deserves another. Early in the fourth, the big 6'3" senior Spafford takes the rock, and he is Memorex. That's a bad man. 80 yards downfield. Beavers back in front 27-21. The Riverside defense stepped up to close it out. Isaiah Drake with great coverage intercepts the pass intended for Hightower. He gone. 85-yard pick 6. Riverside takes this one 39-28. They will now take on Hudson in next week's regionals.
I'm Kevin Trzynski, and we kick off the second round of the playoffs with the matchup in the Columbus area. The 4-3 Big Walnut Golden Eagles coming off a big win over Logan last week, taking on the 6-1 Dublin Scioto Irish. A few minutes gone in the first, and the Golden Eagles on the doorstep. And the senior Big Caden Williams gets the call. Stutter steps, finds the hole, and plows into the end zone from 5 yards out. Big Walnut on the board for 6-0. Following an Irish field goal, Golden Eagles back at it. Jagger Barnett scrambling, looking for a receiver to come open, but he's hit by Vernon Williams from behind and ends up picked off by Cameron Jackson for the 25-yard pick 6. Irish takes the lead 10-6. Irish D getting another interception that sets them up at the 30, and a heavy dose of the sophomore Ed Worthen runs right up the gut for a 27-yard rush, and then on the next play, they reward him with the score. Irish up 17-6 in the second. Just before the half, Big Walnut tried to close the gap. Worthen drops back, but Cameron Jackson jumps the route and picks it off. Gets knocked out at the 1, and you know what that means. Worthen up the middle for the score.
Irish up 24-6 at the break. 2 minutes left in the third, and Big Walnut strikes back. Caden Williams bounces it outside, breaking 2 arm tackles on his way to pay dirt from 23 yards out, but still trailing 24-13. And in the fourth, the sophomore puts this one away. Worthen right up the middle for the 13-yard score and his third on the night, as Dublin Scioto advances to the regionals, beating Big Walnut 31-13 your final score.
We have our top 5 plays of the week, and the first comes from Ohio. Matthew Spafford for Painesville Riverside, going to find his way through the hole, and he's off to the races, chugging his way towards the sideline, beats another defender, 80-yard touchdown run in their playoff win over Boardman. We go to Indiana next, big game to end the regular season between Delta and New Pal. Although in a losing effort, you gotta love this effort by Delta's Logan Manor. He's got 2 guys on his back, but stretches the ball over the goal line for 6. The final 3 all from Michigan. First, this is how Muskegon beat Zeeland West. 1:29 left in the clock. Miles Walton looked like he might down the punt. Instead, he's going for it, and he's going to take this one 95 yards to the crib. It was a school record, and the Big Reds won 15-14. Wow. Number 2 and number 1 coming from the Detroit PSL Championship. Just marvel at Detroit Kings Chansey Willis Jr. Goes up and stays with the ball as he takes it into the end zone. But later, our number 1 play of the week came from Cass Tech's Camille Gardner, just pulling off highway larceny over the defender's back to make the grab. He had 2 scores on the day, but this is the play everyone was talking about. Cass Tech won their first city crown in 2 years. That's all the time we have, but know this. We covered a ton more football in all 3 states last weekend. Just go to State Champs Ohio, Michigan, or Indiana's social media accounts to take in all of it. I'm Lauren Plant. It only gets better next week. State Champs Extra Point, presented by Lawrence Technological University and Lawrence Tech Athletics. For everything LTU, visit ltu.edu. You can recruit yourself to any of Lawrence Tech's 27 collegiate athletic teams by visiting ltuathletics.com.